Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. So this is arguably one of the best Metal Gear games ever made, or at the very least a fan favorite that most agree would be their favorite. I'm running this on an emulator, and I'm gonna hope that this time around it runs better than the last couple recordings. This is round 3 or 4 now. So go ahead, get into it, and hope for the best. I will say, this is one of the more cinematic
After the
Metal
end
Gears.
of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
By the way, if you look at Snake's mask, it should say Metal Gear Solid. There you go, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater right there on his face.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Just gonna say fuck that. You couldn't pay me enough to jump out of a plane that high. You couldn't pay me enough to jump out of a plane at all.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No.
Actually, some fan theories on why he said virtual
The
mission.
future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles.
See, this is the awesome thing with Metal Gear.
His
They
name is
insert the
Nikolai
story into
Stepanovich
history to
Sokolov.
make it more natural.
He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Oh yeah, the cool thing with Metal Gear, or at least Metal Gear 3, they let you see things from Snake's perspective at certain moments in the game. Like, right now it should give me a prompt to look at it from his perspective, I think? I believe so in a second here. Yeah, there you go.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to
And I can actually control it too.
Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back
So I get to
the
see
West.
as Snake falls, like see what it looks like. Still, fuck this. Imagine seeing literally the forest right below you. Screw that. Nah, couldn't do that.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proof.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons. As well
I thought
as
the
two
point of this was to be
40mm
sneaky
machine
and not get detected, so why would
Sounds like she could hold
you...
her own against a battalion of
Why
tanks.
would you come in
Even
equipped
the
with
fuel
a
in the reserve
flying
tank,
tank,
we're
basically?
facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast.
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Again, another point I want to make, we're not supposed to let the Russians know that we're here, right? So that mask says U.S. Army, his holster says U.S. Like, you're literally dropping shit all over the place that would trace back to the United States. So, once Sokolov goes missing, the Russians are going to start looking around, and they're going to find gear left behind, left by, you know, clearly an American, so... Nice cover, guys. Good job. At least if he set all this shit on fire, at least then, okay, he's covering up the evidence. But he doesn't do that.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
Alright, so I'm going to skip a lot of this dialogue because a lot of it is just tutorial crap. Like, oh, hey, go ahead, do this, go there, go do that. It's all tutorial bullshit. So we're just going to skip this. I think we're going to end up getting called, if I remember correctly, right about... No? Ah, I thought we were going to get called again. Because I know for the next little bit, I think now and the next call, it's going to be a lot of like, oh, hey, don't forget to use the survival viewer and do this, and oh, don't forget you need to take animals to eat them to survive. Like, it's a lot of tutorial nonsense that I'm already well aware of, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip all that.
I see you've
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Alrighty. Oh, I probably could have just gone straight. I'm a dumbass. Alright, let's keep it going. You know, I would have never thought this, but it's actually make my PC kick up. And so far it looks good. Not seeing any issues for an emulator. Okay, so this part I always have trouble with. Not trouble, but just it's annoying. The friggin' alligators. They're just douchebags. You get too close and they start. Alright, there we go, I got it. We're good. The gators are just assholes. Don't I run into Soviet soldiers right? Yeah, no, next part I run into them. Oh, yeah, right, we get to control the binoculars. Well, not necessarily control them, but see what Snake's looking at.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
Do you really need to report that,
They're
though?
probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Like I said, I mean, we're in Russia. I would be surprised if we didn't, you know, find Russian soldiers.
Territory is already a violation of international law. You can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage.
Alright, yeah, more tutorial bullshit. Change your camouflage, all that nonsense. Don't I have camouflage on my face as is? Speaking of, hold on. Oh yeah, we can get a Raiden mask. Alright, we're just gonna go woodland, that's fine. And then the uniform. There we go, we should be good. Yep. Nope. There we go, got him. And bink. Nope. There we go. And he's out like a light. Now we go put this away real quick. Walk up to this dude. Everybody, need to shake your butt. There you go. Upsy daisies and down we go. But yeah, there's a theory that Snake said virtual mission, because essentially in the story, it's likely that this is all taken from memories of Big Boss, and this is someone else reliving Big Boss's memories. That's at least the theory. Is it true? Who knows? No, there we go. Now, I know there's a sniper rifle down there. I don't want to grab it just yet. No. Lift him up and drop him. What do you get? Smoke grenade. Cool. I don't know if leaving the sniper... I remember playing this on the Vita. If I pick up the sniper rifle now, I think that kind of screws me later. Oh yeah, the beehive. For a solid second there, I was like, wait, did I find a location that I haven't been to in previous playthroughs? Like, I've played this on the Vita, I've played this on the 360, I'm playing this now on the PC. I've played this game multiple times, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't look familiar. Now I remember why. Okay, so let me see if I hold on, being dumb. Get the gun out. Do boop. There we go. Surprise! And there's other guards on the bridge, so that should scare them away as well. And there they all go. Sweet. You know, maybe this is just me, but I feel like knowing what's out here, they'd give their soldiers the gear or like the equipment to handle this. Like if you know there's bees and shit out here, I think they'd give them like anti-venom or something, or like some kind of spray to repel bees. That's just me.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight.
I mean, there's only like 3 guards.
There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Alrighty. Come on. Action. There we go. Alright, cool. We're gonna go ahead, pop up right there, and think. Good night. Okay, he did not see nothing. He's a blind as a bat. Got him. Like how Snake is nice enough to just kindly, slowly inch over. Like he doesn't step on them or anything. He just goes around them, kind of. If you look, he doesn't really step on them. He kind of steps on them just a little bit, but not enough to wake them up. I know if we go around the building, there's a window where we could throw shit at Sokolov. It's just that unfortunately we need shit to throw at him first, and we don't have anything to throw at him. Also, little side note for anybody who's new to Metal Gear. technically, when he's speaking to Sokolov, Snake is speaking Russian, but for the sake of anybody who's playing, he's speaking English.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of GRU. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard
You would
of
think someone in the CIA would tell him about this prior
He's a
to
member of
him
the
going into
army's
Russia.
Extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts?
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
No one spotted me.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Losing a trend with Metal Gear games where the commanding officer always seems to know more than he lets on. That or plays dumb and, you know, he doesn't seem to, you know, or he's acting like he doesn't know more. I love how, like, right here, Sokolov, like, looks like he's getting ready to fight, like, as though he knows what he's doing, but the reality is you can tell he has no fucking clue. What is he doing? Is he, like, alright. Let's say, like, the whole way he was holding his hand, like, what are you doing, like, groping imaginary boobs or something? Like, what is that move? Not for nothing. This is not Sokolov's first time sneaking out of Russia. You think second time around he'd know what to do.
So this is the legendary boss.
And not for nothing, if the boss is such a legendary character, then Ocelot here should know that the boss is a woman and should see Snake and be like, oh wait, no, you're not the right person.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. What's a GRU soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Ocelot's very theatrical, isn't he?
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
How in this time not a single Russian soldier moved to shoot at him. I know that, you know, this guy just saw his whole team get wiped out, but I feel like he should be able to, you know, I feel like he should have been able to shoot. See, that's just mean shit.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
GRU operatives?
What is that stance? Huh. That gun.
That gun's gonna be the thing that fucks up you and your team.
If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
and good night. It was like ever since this moment, Ocelot's always had a hard-on for Big Boss.
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do. But testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Everything Ocelot knows, he learned from Big Boss.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
Oh, shit's getting spicy.
Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
So, fun fact, since this game, since we know who Ocelot is, since the previous games, you can trigger a, time paradox? So if I go ahead, do this, I think that's shooting, I remember what it was to knife. I think that's it. Try to remember how to do this. No. Give me a second. I did this once before. No, we don't want to shoot Ocelot. There we go.
Snake, what have you
And that's
done?
the Colonel from Metal Gear 1 and 2.
You've created a time paradox.
Okay, we're not going to do that anymore. But yeah, so you can go ahead and kill Ocelot and trigger a time paradox, and that was actually the Colonel from MGS 1 and 2. Which is another reason why people are a little theoretical that this is somebody else reliving Big Boss's memories, considering the fact that we know that the game is like, yeah, Ocelot's, killing Ocelot triggers a time paradox. Why would our characters know that?
You okay?
Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best GRU has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
Here's the granddaddy of Metal Gear.
That's what they were making you build.
Yes. The Shagohod. The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBM.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain.
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo. Is that thing finished?
No. This is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2.
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war.
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
You know, I know Sokolov's a bit of a bitch, but I don't blame him. If I saw that, I'd shit my pants too. I don't blame him at all.
Boss?
I'm just gonna say it proves how much. It kind of already proves a little bit how much of a badass she is. The fact that with the bridge shaking like that, she's able to keep her balance like it's nothing.
Good work.
She's not phased by nothing.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Hornets?
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more.
Welcome back, boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself. It's raining blood.
If I remember correctly, that dude's the Sorrow. I think he was
Is he
either
crying?
the boss's ex-boyfriend or husband. Either way, they both served together and she ended up killing him, if I remember correctly. I think that's his backstory. After we get launched off this bridge, we can actually see his dead body.
Kuwabara, Kuwabara. Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss. us. What is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
And just like that, his gun's in pieces. See, I feel like this is the appropriate way to do a badass female character. Like, she's just fucking his day up. That always gets me. I just feel the pain in my arm after seeing that.
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
See, this kind of confuses me a little bit. I don't know why she puts out her hand to help him. Or at least give the impression that she's going to help him after saying, you can't come with us. Like, I know what's going to happen here, but still, it's just a kind of a confusing moment, in my opinion.
The new blood has been rejected.
Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Vulcan is so uninterested with everything. He's just like, fuck this. Can we go now?
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
I know the camera will show the Sorrow's body for like a solid second, but once we get into first person, I think it's actually around here. There's gonna be a tree log that if you look behind it, you'll see a skull. Maybe behind Snake?
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go. First, open the survival viewer.
Alright, the rest of it, that was all just, oh, hey, use the survival viewer and make yourself feel better. Yeah, right there. There's his body. Right there, that's what it is. That's the sorrow right there. That's his dead body. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. How does this work? So, suffering from deep cut. Okay, so it's a deep cut, so we need to suture, bandage. There we go. And then this is going to be the same thing, so boop, 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 and boop. This one, deep cut, bandage, apply, disinfect, so boop to boop. I do need this, okay. Now what is this? This is bone fracture, so we just need split and bandage, I believe? Okay. Deep cut and bandage, so suture, bandage. And then this is just a fracture, so boop and boop. All done. We make Snake feel better. Imagine having to do this to yourself. Like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I'd have the... yeah, I don't know if I could ever relocate one of my limbs.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
There he is. There's the sorrow. Or there was his body.
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Sorry, she was on the helicopter the entire time, and neither of them realized who she was or knew that she was there, really. Like, it's only now they're acknowledging her.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear. A kiss of death?
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility.
By the way, that weapon, it's called the Davy Crockett. The US actually did build something like that. It was never actually deployed or used because it was a failure, but that is based off a real weapon.
Enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
The least they could have done was drop that recovery balloon closer to Snake. Now he's got to get his ass up and go find the damn thing. As much as I would love to play this song for the channel, I don't know if I can because of copyright. So I think for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the song in its entirety, and if YouTube doesn't like it, I'll cut it out.
With darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else.
Man, they even give the guy... Like, I don't even think they give enough time to heal. They only give him a week.
Currently flying over the
It's like a week later, they're doing another op over Russia.
Approaching Soviet airspace. Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil pressure and voltage are nominal. Payload oxygen supply is nominal. Power supply to payload anti-free systems shows no problems. No gusts. All systems go for drone detachment.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here. We can't get as close to the ground as we did during the Virtuous mission. So instead, we'll be using one of our newest weapons. Snake, you're being given an honor on par with Alan Shepard. This is our last chance. Show your patriotism. If you fail, you'll be back in a hospital bed again, waiting for the firing squad. So how does it feel to be a patient in one of the most advanced ICUs in the world?
Would you do me a favor and tell the suits about visiting hours? I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
More like an interrogation. According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Does that mean they're after you too?
Let's just say neither one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This Fox is still one step ahead of the Hounds. The reason I came to see you today, Jack, it's time for Fox to clear its name.
What are you talking about?
The situation has changed. We've still got a chance to come out of this one alive.
Yeah, what kind of chance?
Don't get too excited. Here, have a cigar. It's Cuban. This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger. Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
President Johnson? Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB-754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion. At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar picked up a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft. Does any of this sound familiar to you? In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert. Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power is not as great as it once was. If I am to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
I should have contacted you myself. Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard then? The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borosovich Volgin.
I think just hearing Volgin, Khrushchev knew, like, oh shit, I already know what's going on.
Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss. She's a living legend. During World War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
You mean the Boss? The mother of your special forces?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The Boss took 2 miniature nuclear shells?
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. But serious problems were found with the launcher's range and precision. Although they were mass-produced, they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the boss, with Colonel Volgin's help, stole 2 experimental nuclear shells and took them with her as gift when she defected. Then, shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed.
You can just hear
by
the
one of
bullshit
these
in his
weapons.
voice.
Am I
Like
right so
that is a
far?
long way of saying I'm calling
Yes,
bullshit.
that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a U.S. military aircraft doing on our radar screen? It was clearly in violation of our airspace. And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
You expect me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government. You have 1 week. You must catch the boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device. Then, you must find some way to prove your innocence.
Prove our innocence?
Yes, preferably something painful. Prove to me that this is not merely another one of your tricks.
The boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little co-action?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which seeks to topple my government. 1 week. You have only 1 week. And if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It means nothing. Call it a modest gentleman's agreement to ensure our continued relationship.
What if we can't prove our innocence?
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
I leave the disposal of this situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
Disposal?
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
And eliminating the boss ourselves will prove America's innocence?
Right. The higher-ups have decided that you're the only one capable of pulling this off. You were her last apprentice. Screw this one up, and we'll both be 6 feet under. There's no choice.
6 feet under and nuclear war.
Are the Russians going to be helping us?
The KGB has promised to lend us one of their communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960. Do you remember it?
You mean the 2 NSA codebreakers who went over to the Soviet Union?
Precisely. Since then, they've apparently been training with the KGB for exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam has infiltrated Volgin's ranks. We've also arranged for him to provide you with an escape route. You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
Control. Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet.
Just a crazy question.
It's fast.
Would Snake's drone be able to outmatch those MiGs? I forgot what they were called. Would it be able to outspeed them? Because I feel like, I think they should be able to catch up. Or at the very least keep track of where it's going. Definitely one thought going through his head is, God damn it, I'm back here again. Well, shit. Yeah, at least my bag's not stuck up on a tree.
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Glad to see you landed safely.
I got blown pretty far off target.
Snake, let's go over your mission objectives one more time. Rescue Sokolov. Find out what's happened to the Shagohod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Eliminate the boss.
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget about Colonel Volgin.
I'm not a hired killer.
I know, but that was the Kremlin's demand.
Demand? You mean it wasn't just a request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the Colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime helps us avoid a nuclear exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Our priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagohod.
Roger that, Major Tom.
Hold on, Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't...
It's actually wild, too, is that they kind of retcon this real quick. Like, if you pay attention to his codename right there, it'll change.
I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? It came out last year.
Oh, must have missed that one.
Anyway, it's based on a true story about prisoners who escaped from a POW camp in Nazi Germany. The prisoners dig 3 tunnels as part of their plan, but the Nazis find 2 of the tunnels before they're finished. The prisoners succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry, and Tom.
I get it. You used the name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Yes, that's exactly right. At least, that was the plan.
But
I got the name wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry. Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels. It was discovered by the Nazis before it was finished. I watched the movie again just to make sure. In fact, I even ordered the actual film from the movie company.
yeah, it doesn't sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
You know, let's just use Zero, like we've been doing all along.
All right, then. Major Zero it is.
There you go,
We'll
change to
start
Major
over
Zero.
from Square one.
From square 0. My frequency is 140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance, too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate. Her frequency is the same as during the Virtuous mission, 145.73. She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same, 140.96. And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint. He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology. You'll be going up against some of the world's most advanced weaponry when you infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your KGB contact, is waiting for you at the abandoned factory up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes, meet up with Adam first. He's cleared the way for you to rescue Sokolov.
How will I know this Adam guy when I see him?
You'll know once you reach the factory. The whole area's been polluted by the fallout from that nuclear blast. No one else would dare come close. The password is, "Who are the Patriots?" and Lali Lulelo.
Lali Lulelo. Gotcha.
You've been equipped with a 45 for this mission. Be careful, it's noisy.
I thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time. You're now on an official mission for the United States government. It would be necessary to make your presence known to a certain extent, to the Khrushchev regime at the very least. But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind and proceed with extreme caution.
Understood. Commencing Operation Snake Eater.
Oh, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So that's where I'm gonna leave this one for today. Yeah, so we're finally getting started on Snake Eater. I'm gonna have to do some editing to fix a couple of cutscenes because unfortunately the emulator is not 100% there. But I will get to it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you around the next one. As always, if you like it, leave a like. If you dislike it, dislike it. Any suggestions that you have for the channel, leave them in the comment section or on Twitter, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I will see you guys around the next one. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and have a good night.